man. I do what I do.
Every time when we said we chilling, and then you kept coming at us, and now you got black people saying, hold on a minute. Matter of fact, we happy to see y'all go. Matter of fact, not only are we happy to see you go, we are benefiting from you leaving because you kept pushing us, and that's just not cool. Shout out to my man Barry Little for getting me to 45. Now let's do 47 in celebration of Trump. Give me 47. Now, we look, we know what it's like to struggle. We've been at the bottom of the system. We weren't even in the system. The system was sat on top of us for centuries. We literally held this country up. We built this country because we were the foundation of this country. We paid into it with blood, with sweat, with tears. They literally used black women as baby making machines. They had breeding farms in some of these places in North Carolina and Baltimore and New York. They had breeding farms, and black women were literally breeding the children to be sold into the economy to do labor. So we've done, look, our ancestors fought and died. They sacrificed more than any you could ever imagine, just so we could have a shot at something better. Meanwhile, you got newcomers who come in and exploit our resources and then demand protection when it suits them. Let's be honest with each other. They didn't build a black church. Okay? They didn't fight against Jim Crow. They didn't march on Washington in 1963. We did that. We did that. Now the deportation happens and they suddenly expect us to rally behind them. Think about that, fam. Think about that. Where was the solidarity when black Americans were being pushed out of jobs and out of neighborhoods and out of our business? Where was the solidarity when immigrant-owned stores set up shop in our black communities and refused to hire us? Where was the solidarity when these Hispanic gangs in Los Angeles were shooting and killing unarmed, innocent black folks who were just trying to live in their neighborhoods where they had been for generations? Where was the solidarity when we were left to fend for ourselves in a system designed to keep us at the bottom? Let me tell you something about illegal immigration. Even Mexican-American leaders understood that illegal immigration was a problem. Let's talk about the real history of illegal immigration or immigration and labor in this country. Julio Cesar Chavez, one of the greatest Mexican-American leaders and labor organizers, he stood firmly against illegal immigration. That's right. Chavez knew that undocumented illegal workers were used to drive down wages and hurt American workers and undermine our labor rights. In 1974, 50 years ago, Chavez led a protest against illegal immigration, arguing that businesses were exploiting undocumented workers to weaken unions and cut wages for legal workers. And he called them strike breakers. And he fought against their use in agriculture. See, this is why they don't bring him up. That's one of their greatest leaders. They rather bring Dr. Martin Luther King, because when you start digging into what their own leader said, he was a labor leader, he contradicts the foolishness that they're doing right now. And the reason is he saw firsthand how business owners collaborated with illegal immigrants to undercut the wages of hardworking Americans. This includes Black, Latino, and white American laborers. Chavez, in his wisdom, knew that the unchecked immigration wasn't just an issue of legality. It was an issue of economic survival, the same thing I'm talking to you right now about. We see the same pattern today. Business owners love illegal immigration because it gives them a cheap, exploitable labor force And guess who suffers? Well, they pocket the money. They still charge you the same price. They're not going to reduce the price because they're getting the labor to you. They still pocket it. So who suffers? Number one, the American worker. And as far as this particular conversation, black men in particular are pushed to the back of the hiring line because we're unable to compete with the under the table labor prices that's driving the wages into the ground. So even when one of the greatest Mexican or Latino civil rights leaders, he could recognize that illegal immigration was a problem, and you can't. Why are we expected to support something that actively harms our communities? Look, we have 45 super chats. Get me to 50, because I know ain't nary one of y'all know who Julio Cesar Chavez was. And everybody on the internet should be using that in their response when people talk about these illegal immigrants up here being sent home and working here without their papers. But here's the thing. Let's expose one of the greatest lies in this entire debate. The best argument that illegal immigrants can put forward is that they're doing the jobs that Americans won't do. I want you to think about just how un-American that is. I want you to think about that. Think about what they're really saying about Americans. They're saying Americans are lazy or too lazy to work hard. That's what they're saying. And that's an insult hidden in their so-called defense. But here's the truth. Americans aren't lazy. Americans are innovators. Americans find ways to fill gaps. The moment these illegal immigrants leave, the work is still going to get done. It may take some time to replace that labor force, but yes, there's going to be some short-term pain. But I'll bet my money on the American ingenuity any day of the week. And someone somewhere will still need and find a way to fill that gap, because we always have. And let's not forget about the fact that we have many of these same illegal immigrants who claim to love America. They wave the Mexican flag and burn the American flag at their protests. If you love this country so much that you riding around with this flag, why don't you go back to it? Because, see, we're going to be fined over here. You understand me? See, the time for sympathy is over. It's time for action now. And while, we can sympathize with anyone's pain, we must also stand by this fundamental truth. You don't get to break the law and then demand justice when it catches up to you. You don't get to exploit the system that we built and that we paid into and then play victim when you can't anymore. You don't get to displace Black workers and then ask for our support to help you continue to exploit Black workers. See, this country belongs to those who built it, who paid into it, and who upheld its laws and defended it. And that's us. So let's stand firm. Let's prioritize our families, our communities, and our future. And this time for sympathy is over. Now it's time for justice. It's time to demand what we deserve. And that's right now. And we need to fight for the place that we've earned. We have to ensure that our children and our family are not left behind in the country that should recognize and respect our contribution. And that goes to all Americans. See, this is not a white or Black thing at this point. This is an American thing. So I'm going to leave you all with this. Shout out to everybody who came through. We almost got where we need to get. But listen to me on this. Are we going to continue to push aside, or are we going to continue to let people push us aside? Or are we going to demand what's rightfully ours? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. All you Black folks who voted for the Democrat Party, I want you to ask yourself that question. Maybe you didn't like Donald Trump. Maybe you don't like his attitude. Maybe he's not brash. But ask yourself, Is he doing what's in your interest? Do his policies benefit you? And thereafter that, just make an intelligent decision like the rest of our ancestors taught us to do. Vote your interests. Other than that, this is Uncle D. I love you guys. Thank you all so much. I appreciate your time. Shout out to my sons who came on in here and entertained you all too. I appreciate that. God bless you. I wish you well. And this is Uncle D, and I'm out. Your incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from a group of men who were brought to this country in the hulls of slave ships. I know we got the pretendians out there that's saying that we still here, but the DNA test says otherwise, just like your baby mama. So for my brothers who know their history and know where we came from and know what we've been through for hundreds of years, the fact that over 60% of black men have now reached the middle class your seed is the most important thing that you produce in this world. It's not the art that you produce. It's not the buildings that you create. It's not the amount of money you make. It's not the amount of people who like you. It is your legacy.
But since we don't live in our culture no more, we say what we want to say, do what we want to say. We tear our men down and then wonder why they don't make good husbands and fathers. Mothers destroy sons. His mother can speak to him in certain ways.